Welcome back to the Daily Report. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating what caused Wednesday night's deadly collision between a passenger jet and a military helicopter. 64 people were on the passenger jet and 3 soldiers were in the helicopter. This crash comes after experts have been sounding the alarm about the growing number of near collisions between airplanes on runways and in the air. Over the last 2 years, there have been at least 5 high-profile, serious close calls at U.S. airports, including 2 at Reagan National Airport last year. Both of those incidents happened within a month of each other. In one case, a JetBlue and Southwest plane were cleared to proceed on a collision course toward each other before air traffic controllers warned them to stop. In another, an American Airlines plane nearly collided with another airplane that was landing on a nearby runway before air traffic controllers intervened to stop the American Airlines flight. These incidents are more serious examples of the problem of runway incursions, which is when there's something, such as an aircraft, vehicle, or person, on a runway that shouldn't be there. The FAA reported that there were 30 runway incursions for every 1 million flights that took off and landed in 2024, only one of which was in the most serious category, in which a collision was nearly avoided. That's down from 2023, when there were 33 runway incursions per million flights and a total of 22 incidents in the 2 most serious categories of near collisions, the most in a decade. The FAA launched a safety review after the rise in runway incursions in 2023 and found the rise was caused by a variety of factors, including the need for more surface detection technology at airports, which can help pilots identify where other planes are. Inexperienced pilots and more air traffic controllers were also factors cited. CBS News has also confirmed that 1 air traffic controller was doing the job of 2 people at Reagan Airport Wednesday night. Reagan Airport is one of many airports struggling to staff air traffic control towers. As of September 2023, which is the most recent data available, there were a third less certified controllers on staff than what both the FAA and Controllers Union call for. Well, crews have suspended recovery operations for the night in the deadly crash near Washington. They'll resume Friday morning. But a law enforcement source confirms to CBS News crews fear they may not be able to recover all of the victims' bodies. According to a source familiar, they believe that there are more in a tail section of the fuselage and currently out of reach. For more, let's bring in Shannon Scaff. He's a senior consultant for risk management at the Center for Toxicology and Environmental Health, or CTEH. He's also a retired lieutenant commander with the U.S. Coast Guard. Thank you very much for being here, Commander. At what point does a search and rescue operation become a recovery operation?
Yeah, the Coast Guard's got some computer models in place that will help to take in a whole number of factors, obviously water temperature being one of those. And at 36 degrees, the average human being with a life jacket on has an expectancy of life of about an hour to an hour and a half. They take a lot of different things into consideration and ultimately arrive to a decision to suspend an active search and rescue and go towards a recovery when it just makes sense to do that. They will take into account a will to live, but that's for an individual that's healthy and is able to fight for their lives. It's a difficult decision, but one they're prepared to make.
How does a water recovery complicate the operation and the ability to retrieve evidence?
This is going to be tough. I've been thinking about these folks all day. They're out there on the water and under the water. They're dealing with terrible conditions out there. And obviously, we all know the gravity of the situation and how tragic it is. We shouldn't fool ourselves into thinking that these folks don't feel that. They're out there in the middle of it. And they understand that family members are on the sidelines waiting to be reunited with their families. And so they're out there in near, low visibility to zero visibility. They're fighting, currents. Today, the wind isn't so bad. Tomorrow, it's going to be bad. Obviously, 36-degree water temperatures is something to be considering. The cumbersome nature of the suits that they're wearing to stay warm. The deck is stacked against them, and not to mention the fuselages themselves with the metals that are involved, the fuel and everything else. It's just going to be a very hard operation for them.
You mentioned the weather. It's a little over 40 degrees in Washington. How does that affect efforts, and what other challenges do crews face?
So the suits that they're wearing, there's a number of different options for them, but mostly, dry suits, and which is going to be a little more cumbersome for them. They're not going to be able to be as mobile, so things are going to move a lot slower. because they don't have the dexterity that they would have just, if they were out there in like a shorty wetsuit. And so that's very cumbersome. Takes a longer period of time to get through things. As you just covered a minute ago, it's difficult to reach certain areas of the aircraft just because of its orientation and their ability to get in there. Again, you've got, Coke can type metals that are very sharp when they're ripped open that would try to, jeopardize a suit or an air hose. And so they've got to consider all of that.
Wow. I hadn't even thought of that. So complicated. Retired Lieutenant Commander Shannon Scaff. Thank you.
Thank you.